What is up, everyone? It's LRF, and we are here at Darien Cars and Coffee in Darien, Connecticut on this beautiful Sunday morning at 6:25 a.m. So far, nothing much has showed up as we look around the parking lot, but trust me, once we get to like 6:30 or 7 a.m., there's going to be some cars showing up. This show is primarily based for European, specifically English cars, so I'm hoping we're going to see some good stuff, maybe a few really cool Aston Martins and McLarens. So stay tuned and let's hop right into the video. Over here we have this beautiful Ferrari GTC4Lusso, blue exterior on tan interior, but just check this thing out. This is so classy and honestly underrated. You could get one on the used market now for like 200 grand, which is not a bad deal considering what they were worth when new. This is a 2017 model. I was just speaking to the owner of this car. He loves it. He's had it since December, and I think it's a gorgeous car. These are the Ferraris that deserve more appreciation, and they're probably going to be worth a lot of money someday because these cars are slowly becoming more forgotten about and like just less appreciated than like an 812 or an F12, let's say. But yeah, very nice car. So we are sitting inside the Ferrari GTC4Lusso right now. Just check out this interior. It is beautiful. Alright, so right here we have this beautiful C1 Corvette pulling in. Probably a late 1950s example, but check this out. Orange and white. That's just... The C1 is one of my favorite Corvettes. C2 is my favorite, but the C1, it's just a beautiful car. Like, just look at this. All-American V8 sports car. It's an icon. Just seeing this pull in. I think we've seen this one before, but just listen to that motor. And Bro ran over the cone. But yeah, great car. Wow, just look at it. So nice. So I just found out this is a Lotus Europa. That's the name of the model. Probably an early 1970s example. So if you're not familiar with this car, the Europa was a sports car that Lotus built long before the Esprit or the Exige, which we have right here. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah, very underrated sports car from Lotus. As you could tell, it's very lightweight. That was the point of Lotus's original idea, like since they ever started as a car brand, to be like to weigh the least and have like even smaller engines than like, let's say, a Ferrari V12 or whatever. But since they were lightweight and had small engines, they could still go pretty fast. It's not like anything like extremely crazy, like, oh, this is the fastest supercar in the world at the time, but it certainly is something to appreciate and a car that deserves to be more appreciated, especially a Lotus Europa like this. Just wow. And over here we have a British racing green Lotus Exige. As you could probably tell, this is not your normal Exige. This is a more track-focused version of the Exige, but just check out the color. This is very nice in my opinion. You have like the carbon fiber louver and a full-on racing interior, as you could tell. Just check out that carbon fiber. It just goes so well with the car. This deserves a walk around. Very nice. Not something you see every day. So when British sports cars come to mind, look no further to Jaguar, especially when you have this duo, XK120, XK150. Let's just get a quick explanation in. So the Jaguar XK120 was one of the fastest production cars in the world at the time. This is a 1952 model. I was just speaking to the owner of this car, and it could do 140 miles an hour in 1952, which was basically unheard of, hence the name XK120. So that just shows you how fast these cars really were. And you could tell by the design that this really paved the way for the European sports car and how iconic it became for Jaguar and many other car brands to come in the 50s. Because before this, sports cars weren't really much of a thing for English brands, and like this really like inspired like the way for future supercars, even considering how fast and significant an XK120 really was in the early 50s when cars were thought about as a different idea, especially sports cars. But here we have a 1958 XK150. As you can tell, a few different design changes. The XK150 looks like more refined, as the 120 is more curvy, and like as that was the style in the early 50s. But you could see how much Jaguar progressed their design onwards, and then into the early 60s, of course, when they came out with the XKE. But yeah, which one are you taking? XK120 or 150? I'll take the XK120 for historical reasons, and I think I prefer the design, the earlier design, a little more.
At this car.
Over here we have a Shelby Cobra, the British coupe that was turned into by Carroll Shelby, one of the most iconic and most powerful muscle cars and supercars of its era. This is a factory-built replica model, but whether replica or real, I just love the Cobras and appreciate them for what they are. As you can see, we have white exterior with blue stripes, iconic spec for any Cobra, but yeah, just lovely to see it, and they all sound amazing. Even some of the replicas use the original engines, the original 427 or 289 liter V8, 289 cubic inch V8. But yeah, it was a big motor for the time, certainly a lot of power for a little lightweight car like this. That's why they're extremely thrilling and fast, but they sure are a blast to drive, and that's what's so good about the Cobra. It's all about the experience, and just appreciate them for what they are. Over here we have a car that we definitely have to talk about, the Aston Martin DB4, one of the UK's most iconic and most loved and appreciated for what they are, sports cars. Basically, it's just super nice. Like, everything from this color to the iconic front grille about the DB4, late 50s, early 60s sports car icon, before the famous DB5, made famous by the James Bond movie Goldfinger. But yeah, I honestly prefer the DB4 over the DB5. This is the more original example, and I think they're even rarer. Like, you don't hear about the DB4 as much as the iconic DB5, but yeah, very nice. And to see one in this color, even better. This might just be the star of the show here today. A car that we do have to talk about more, and that you don't see in America a lot, is this 1974 TVR. If you guys aren't familiar with TVR, these are one of the most underrated cars ever, in my opinion. TVR is a British sports car brand, mostly only seen in the UK. Very rare, especially in the US. This example is for sale. But TVRs handle very nicely. As you can see, the engine is super low to the ground, making aerodynamics and handling even better. But yeah, TVRs were small, they were powerful, and they just deserve more love, especially in the States. Just amazing to see one here. I think this is my first time ever seeing any TVR, but yeah, it looks insane, and I'm glad to see one. So since it's mid-show right now, I just wanted to do a quick walk around of what is here so far. I'm not sure if anything is going to show up, anything else, but we'll totally see about that, because sometimes there's some surprises later in these shows. Starting off with the Porsche 996, very nice car. We have Jaguar XK, a clean example of a Cayman. Aston Martin DB9, very underrated, V12 Grand Tourer. You could get one for under $50,000. I would honestly buy this if I had the chance to. G80 M3 Comp, very nice blue color on that, and nice rims too. Shout out to all BMW drivers out there, since I drive one. You can see we have some of the Porsches and Beamers, another G80, 66 Mustang GT, something like that, mid-60s. Alfa Romeo Spider. We have a Datsun 280Z right here. Also, C3 Vet 1980 model. And then we have this ZL1, very nice example of a Lamborghini Gallardo. And of course, the Aston Martin DB4, aka what's probably the star of the show right now. We have the TVR right there, 74 TVR, GTC4Lusso, also C3, C1, another C3, early C3 example. The earlier C3s are obviously the best. Here we have a nice C5 Vet. Here we have a C8, a couple Defenders and Range Rovers, which are apparently part of the show. Sponsored to BMW of Darien. Once again, a shout out to the BMW drivers out here. We have a couple of the Lotus models, a few Evoras here, a very nice Emira, another Jaguar XK, and a very nice Rolls-Royce Silver Shadow, another underrated British luxury cruiser, luxury machine, Iowa license plate. Wow, that British green is looking better than ever right now. Just wow. A few more Jags. We got a very nice Cobra replica, of course, over here. Aston Martin Vantage, looking great. XK120, XK150, of course. Very nice cars, very iconic, historically significant. We have a few of the Jags and MGs down here. We have an MG Midget, blue on blue, looking very good right now too. So the reason why this 1972 Chrysler Wagon is attracting such a crowd is mainly because this is John Lennon's former car. Yes, that's right, John Lennon of the Beatles. This is his former car. I was just speaking to the owner of the car. He bought it at an auction in the States even, and it's just amazing to see this piece of history here at a local car meet like this. Just wow. If you guys don't know me well, I'm also a big fan of the Beatles, and John Lennon is probably my favorite Beatle. But just to see that this car was owned by John Lennon is just amazing. As you can see, it's a little bit dented, which I'm assuming it's probably original, because I do know that John Lennon was known for being a pretty bad driver. So I wouldn't be surprised if, yeah, you could tell that this car is kind of like dented and a little bit beat up, but that's what makes it so clean and iconic. This car is probably worth a lot more money than it would be just because it was owned by John Lennon. But yeah, amazing piece of history to see. Definitely one of the stars of the show just because it was owned by Lennon. As you can see, Lennon license plate. We have Beatles, John Lennon photos, logos everywhere. Just wow. I could tell that it's a Cadillac, but specifically it's a 1941 Cadillac Series 62 convertible. Yeah, I need to learn more about these older vintage, especially the pre-war cars. I definitely need to use a little more knowledge on them. But yeah, very incredible car. Cadillac was always like on top of their game ever since they were a car brand, and they still make great cars today, in my opinion. Just wow. Something I've never realized about the pre-war cars is that how big they really are when you stand close to them, because usually you don't see these things on the road, only like in pictures or in car magazines or in YouTube videos or whatever. And now seeing it up close, it's just huge, like compared to anything on the road, especially in the 1940s. Like, this was ahead of its game. Like, probably one of the most luxurious cars ever made at the time, especially for an American brand. But wow, very nice. The best E-Type of them all. Early 1960s. Just check that out. Such a classic car icon. I've always loved the design of the E-Type. What kind of English-based car show can't have an E-Type? Finally. Shout out to the Jaguar XKE. Great car. Take a look at what just pulled in. A 1971 Ferrari 365 GTB4 Daytona coupe. Now, this doesn't even need an introduction. It's that good of a car. This might be the star of the show over the DB4. Yes, that's how much I really have a soft spot for the classic Ferraris. Naturally aspirated 4.4 liter V12. Almost 400 horsepower, which was extremely fast. One of the quickest cars in the world at the time. This is just amazing to see. V12 sounds like a symphony. I heard it pull in. It was going slow, but it still sounded amazing. We have Rosso Corsa color with these white rims too, looking very unique. But yeah, as you can see, it's parked beside this Lotus Emira. These guys actually drove up together. I was just talking to both of them. But imagine that, Ferrari Daytona versus Lotus Emira driving up to a car event. Wow. Just amazing. Just take a look at the V12. This was after like the Colombo V12 era, when Ferrari started building larger engines. But yeah, it really shows you how Ferrari evolved from the small V12s and their more like elegant look to more insanity and more about one thing only: power and speed, and of course the thrill of it all, the driving experience. But you could tell that it's a Grand Tour car too, as the body style is, but you still get a full-on supercar experience in this. Just amazing piece of history, work of art, you name it. It's a Ferrari Daytona. What is there not to love about this car? Take a look over here. Another Cobra just pulled in. Look how low this one is to the ground. That's sick. And then we, of course, have the C5 Z06 looking great as well. We have this very cool Shelby GT500. Probably like mid-2010s, but yeah, this is sick. Just check this out. Check out that V8 motor. I'm sure this sounds amazing. I love American muscle cars, and this is a good like resto mod, whatever you want to call it, GT500. I'm glad that they brought back the GT500, and I really like this particular model. Of course, the older ones are my favorite, like the 67 GT500, favorite Mustang of all time, obviously. But this one is a good contender. Favorite modern Mustang. So a car that we have to stop and talk about, especially as a BMW fan, is the BMW Z8. I saw this pull in like a half hour ago when I was filming another car, and I forgot that it was here. But yeah, amazing car. Easily a future classic, if not already considered a classic. These have been going up in value, and I'm pretty sure they're going to continue going up in price. But yeah, honestly, very underrated. The Z8 was pretty much made famous from one of the James Bond movies. But yeah, kind of forgotten about otherwise, only really known about by car enthusiasts or people who lived through the early 2000s or whenever they were made. But yeah, the Z8, based on the 1950s sports car, the 507, which are now extremely rare and worth millions of dollars. But yeah, great continuation to that car. I think the Z8 is a great example. BMW really nailed it on this one. Just amazing to see here. This was back when BMW was at the top of its game. Thank you guys for watching the video. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you won't miss out on any new videos. Be sure to check out my Instagram and TikTok, also at LRF Cars, for more amazing car content daily. Yes, this was an awesome event here at Cars Coffee Darien. Stay tuned for even more content coming, especially with the events we have upcoming, like the Greenwich Concours and the Miller Motor Cars Legends event, only 2 weeks away, 2 weekends away, and then Caffeine and Carburetors in 4 weeks, I believe, coming up, and then hopefully more of these parking lot local car meets within an hour away that I could attend. So stay tuned for all the amazing content within the next few months. But yeah, great day here, and I'll see you guys in the next video.